Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Not guilty boys checking in one more time for your mind. It's your boy, attorney Michael Campbell, with my illustrious colleague, attorney Andrew Wilkerson. We
Hey, hey,
appreciate you. Hey, we appreciate y'all being a part of following us this whole time. Instagram is doing numbers. We happy about that. YouTube, y'all keep subscribing and liking and watching these videos. And we're going to keep giving you this good, raw legal information, as well as social topics, sports topics, whatever we feel like touching on. How you doing, my boy?
it's all good, brother. Just happy to be back in the lab, dodging a jab. You know how we do.
Nah, for real. Well, we go jump right in there today. A lot of people have been reaching out to us and, asking us why we are not involved in the Carmelo Anthony case. If any of you guys don't know, Carmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old student that was charged with murder in Frisco, aka Collin County, at a track meet a couple of weeks ago. Carmelo Anthony is claiming self-defense. He's claiming that he was being bullied by Mr. Metcalf, the deceased. May he rest in peace. He is saying that Austin put his hands on him and he retaliated by stabbing him in the heart. This case has gained worldwide spectators and commentators all over the world, all over people have their own opinion about this, but we wanted to hop in there and talk about this from a legal perspective. Now, to start out, to get my 2 cents on it, Carmelo Anthony definitely needs good legal representation for where he's at. I always tell people you got to know where you at when you get involved into something, because that matters. Jurisdiction matters when it comes to any criminal case. And he's in Collin County, predominantly white county, and a county known to just kind of take it pretty rough on African American men. Quite frankly, I've been in Collin County, practiced in Collin County, and had some cases out there, a few times. And those offers for for my clients just don't, you know, seem to match up to when I go to like a Dallas County. So, Collin County being the place where this took place is one of the key things that's sticking out to me. I know some people are trying to make this a racial thing, a black versus white thing, but Andrew, I know you posted something the other day where you said that they probably should go another route. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I was just basically, these are very critical times in this case. The preliminary procedures, the preliminary proceedings, all of them matter. I'm not speaking directly about their attorneys. I don't know their attorneys. I don't know what they're thinking, but a lot of attorneys don't take that time seriously. And what I was saying is, it's one to play up the race card and all that old stuff, but that's really something that I put in my back pocket and I keep for the jury. See, what you got to understand is public opinion doesn't play any part in jury trial. It doesn't. It doesn't. You can be tired of seeing it. You can feel like people are dumb on the internet. You can feel like people are valid on the internet. But public opinion is not going to play a part. Public opinion is not, appreciated pops, is not going to play a part in what a jury does. As a matter of fact, a jury is directed by the judge to not speak about the case during the trial, to not look on the internet, to not Google the case during the trial. As a matter of fact, they're also asked, has anybody seen news stories on this? So the point I'm making is that public opinion does not come into play, does not make it into the jury room, nor the courtroom.
Yeah, one of the key things that everyone wants to ensure is that Mr. Anthony gets a fair trial. And I know there's been some civil rights groups that stepped in and talked to the police department. And, this might not be the time to be picking it in front of, marching and picking it in front of Collin County. What really they should do, Drew, and I like what you said about this online, is that they should be using this time to try to get a change of venue if they feel like he's not going to get a fair trial.
That's the only way to properly utilize it, Mike. You see what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
right,
just going back and forth with people and playing it up and bolstering your case with it is not what I was saying, is not an efficient and economical way to use it. If you want to make a splash with it, right? All you got to do is go find some people in Collin County, get them to write an affidavit as to why they feel. Well, it may not even be why. We got to look at the statute, Mike. It might just be that they feel Karmelo Anthony will not receive a fair trial. All they got to do is fill out an affidavit. And then the attorney will file a motion, they asking for a change of venue and briefly detailing why they want to change a venue. But then they would attach these affidavits to that motion. And then they would have a hearing and let the judge decide, unless the judge just wanted to decide by submission. But if I was the attorney, I would definitely want my hearing. I would definitely request my hearing.
right,
So that's what I mean. Utilize it to help you move forward in the case. Don't just have it out here floating around and everybody thinking different things and different opinions, and because you're not utilizing it at that point.
right. And all it takes is two people to sign an affidavit saying that they're aware that Mr. Anthony won't get a fair trial. And that's
Two.
enough for the judge to consider a change of venue. Now, when it comes to a change of venue, if the judge was to grant such a motion, the case can only go to a contiguous county. That means the county that's touching Collin County. Now, let's talk about that because, you know, sometimes you can pick your poison. If it was me, I would ask for the case to go to Dallas County because I feel like that's probably the best place and safest place for this case to be. But the
Sure.
judge could deny that. He could send it to Rockwall. He could send it to Denton. He could send it to Grayson. Any one of those counties may not be even better than Collin County, to be quite frank. So, you have to be careful when it comes to asking for a change of venue because sometimes you may be picking between, rat poison and shit. You know,
Both of them gonna kill you.
Mr. Anthony, exactly. Mr. Anthony is set for a bond hearing on this coming Monday. He has $1 million bond. I agree that would be an excessive bond, but I know you said you wasn't going to talk about the attorneys, but I'm going to touch on it real quickly. Anytime, you know, you go to a doctor, you have a specialty doctor. If you have an ailment in your head, you might go see a doctor who specializes in brain injuries. If you have an ailment in your heart, you're gonna go to a cardiologist. But when it comes to choosing a lawyer for a criminal case, the only thing that makes sense is a criminal defense lawyer. Now, no strife or whatever to anybody involved in this case, but a civil attorney handling a criminal case, I question that because do you have the experience?
Right.
Do you have the knowledge and do you have the skill to be able to handle a case of this magnitude? Is what I question. Now, I know the family started a GoFundMe, and I know right now the GoFundMe is at about 350K. Now you got to be careful when the wrong type of person get that information because
Come on now.
they may be thinking dollar signs when really justice needs to be had in this case. And quite frankly, no, it wouldn't cost the not guilty boys. It wouldn't cost you that much to get the not guilty boys on the case who are 14-0 in murder cases, by the way. But the family went with who they went with. But what I a lot of people are like, hey, y'all should reach out to those attorneys. And y'all should reach out. We can't ambulance chase the case.
Yeah, we
Someone
ain't doing
for
that.
us to be able to get involved, the family will have to reach out to us first to get us involved. So I just pray that these attorneys are in that penal code studying what they need to be studying because they got a fight on their hands out in Collin County.
And usually civil attorneys don't get paid on the front end. So I'm not saying nobody got motives or none of that, but a civil attorney getting the opportunity to get paid on the front end for once, you see, might be a little bit persuasive for them to want to get on the case. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and honestly, you know, it kind of speaks of kind of inexperience what's going on, right? Us being 14-0, right? I've never seen a prosecutor say, you know what, Mr. Wilkerson, we charge, or Mr. Campbell, we charged your client with murder or capital murder, but just because you asked us to, we're going to lower the charge and we're going to charge him with something else. That don't really happen. You see what I'm saying? You got to understand, this case went through a grand jury, right? A panel of jurors that decided that this should be moved forward. So, there's certain things that need to happen in order for a prosecutor, this the same prosecutor that's charging you with it. You think this person going to wake up, have an epiphany and say, you know what? I think I want to charge him with manslaughter. Nah, man, it don't happen. So in my mind, I think that the focus is in the wrong spot. Like at this point, y'all ought to be coming up with ways to persuade that judge to lower that bond. Getting up and saying that this county is full of racists. Now, please lower my bond. That ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying?
That ain't make sense.
Even if I agree with that, right? I'm gonna keep that somewhere safe. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. I'm Kaiji. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket and I'm gonna use it in front of the jury whenever I got 12 secluded people that I've gotten to know a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And maybe I know how juror 2 and 6 thinks. Maybe I know that juror number 12 had a incident with a cop where they thought they got profiled. Then I'm gonna use that because these people got that on their mind. You see what I'm saying? What they ought to be doing right now, first of all, and we're gonna talk about manslaughter too, but what they ought to be doing right now is finding the witnesses that was maybe standing 5 feet away that heard what happened.
There
Or
you
the
go.
witness that done seen the twins run up on him before on another day, right? Or the witnesses that done seen the twins corner somebody next to the lockers and kind of trying to bully them. That's what they need to be presenting, because you got to understand, Article 1715 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure is what governs these bond hearings, right? So the fifth prong is the judge is allowed to consider the circumstance that this occurred under. So I take that and I blow it out the water. Bet that means we could talk about the case. Let's talk about the case a little bit then. That's how we get judges to drop $1 million bonds to $75,000 because it was self-defense. That's how we get. We didn't have a judge chew out the prosecution for not showing the video of the other person, of the deceased being the aggressor. And actually, that's the case we won. Jatavius Maxwell, we won that on self-defense, got him probation, right? And that's coming from the bond hearing. It originated in the bond hearing. That's when that information that video existed comes out. So you got to understand, like, these preliminary proceedings are, with us, what the not guilty boys do, we utilize them in a tactical fashion. See, some lawyers just get there, I'm not presenting any evidence, judge, can you lower the bond? No, like, you know what I'm saying? We coming with evidence to present to this judge for them to consider, because the prosecutor gonna do this. Judge, here's the PC affidavit, and hand on the PC affidavit, and the judge gonna have a one-sided vantage point of what happened. And they liable to either keep the bond the same or raise the bond. But let me tell you what we do. We're going to bring in the circumstance it was committed under, right? And if a prosecutor got the balls to bring the detective to the hearing, it's over with. Because now I'm finna get that detective locked into different statements. He better not change his statement a year down the line in trial, or I got him. You see what I'm saying? Like, we thinking tactically. So what I was saying on Facebook is each and everything you do should be a stair step to trial. Like, you just sit here twiddling your thumbs thinking you're going to get something, a charge changed, or you going to, get the bond reduced off racism. Now, real quick, let me touch on this because I know you got something to say, Mike, about this manslaughter, right? Understand, murder means that there is you planned it, right? You predetermined that you were going to do this to a person, right? So I would assume that the state is going to try to say that he had the knife on him. He planned it. He knew what he was going to do. Well, no, you got manslaughter that is a heat of passion crime, right? It's that quick. Like, there was no cooling down period, right? So, for instance, it's a difference between a man coming home, seeing his wife cheating on him in the bed with somebody else, right? And a gun being right there on the counter and he shoot him. It's a difference. Well, I don't think it's a difference, but the prosecutor will argue that if that man sees that happening, gets mad, goes to the car, gets the gun, comes back, and then shoots him, it's murder, right? Because you had a cooling off period. Now, it'll take me a whole lot longer to cool off. That's why I don't believe it. You see what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is that you got a couple of tiers to this. If you can get him off on self-defense, he won't go to prison, right? But if you could get it downgraded to manslaughter, get a jury to give you manslaughter, he could possibly get probation. This is about this man having a second chance in life, right? And I'm sweating
So
because I get worked up about these things. We passionate over here. You understand? And
you
it's
are,
like kind of hot. But Chad, man, I just think that they not focusing in and zeroing in on what they ought to be zeroing in on. Cause we would be on top of that right now. We would have somebody getting these statements from these people that know these boys, right? And we would, essentially be talking to the client and getting any and all facts that could help us, get a judge to lower that bond. As hard as it is in Collin County, that's what we'll be doing.
yeah, and when it comes to self-defense, it has to be reasonable in one's mind. Now, not in the mind of anyone else, but the culprit. So it can't be reasonable to nobody but Carmelo Anthony. And it has to be some kind of imminent danger. Well, he put his hands on me, and there may be whether there's some background information there or not, whether he thought he was going to get jumped or not. It may have been reasonable for him to feel that his life was in danger for him to do what he did. Now, like you said, and like we talked about before, right now is the time to be gathering all those witnesses to prove up his reasonableness to think he needed to defend himself. And that is something we will be doing right now because the case still got to go to grand jury, and every
Right.
affidavit that we get can be put in a grand jury packet. Remember, we talked about that to try to get this case either no bill or at least to try to get enough information out there where the state may consider offering a manslaughter charge because now they have tangible evidence to show why it may have been reasonable for my client to think his life was in fear. So I would say this about, and we can move on to the next topic, but I just pray that his attorneys are doing everything they can to assist this young man in this matter because the eyes, I would say, of the country is watching. This is a red button case, and it's gonna be something people gonna have their close eyes on to the very end. Now, I'm one who's up for a challenge. So everybody come in and watch me play ball, watching me hoop. That's when I'm gonna shine the most. So,
For sure.
I know what I would do if I was the attorneys, but I'm just praying that they are keying in, like you said, to what they need to be focusing in to help this young man. And another thing to my people, y'all can just stop believing everything y'all read on social media. It's almost cringe. It makes me almost cringe to see that people will read something, take it to
And
be true,
take it as scripture.
and comment on it and put their whole true beliefs in what somebody else said on social media. We need to wait till all the facts come out before we pass judgment on this one. But we are praying for the Anthony family. We're praying for the Metcalf family because I'm a Christian man and that's how I am. And we also praying for the attorneys in this case that Mr. Anthony can get a fair trial and he can get justice in this matter. Now moving along, speaking of the district attorney office, I don't know what it is about Fulton County District Attorney Office and going after rappers, but just here recently, they tried to revoke Young Thug's probation that they really didn't have a good case on in the first place, if you ask me. But I know Buddy was trying to come home and get back to the money and get back to his family. So I understand why he did what he did. But if you kept paying close attention to the case, other two or three co-defendants who didn't take probation, they got out, not guilty. But anyway, the DA office got mad because Young Thug posted something about one of their investigators not being a truthful lady. Facts are facts. And as soon as someone get close to, you know, shedding some light on some truth, that's when people start getting they panties in the wad. So the district attorney really was being retaliatory and trying to file this motion. Shout out to Attorney Brian Steele for doing his thing, laying that thing down one more time. You know what I'm saying? You know, Brian Steele is one I would suggest all you future criminal defense lawyers or ones aspiring to be criminal defense lawyers to watch how he get down because the boy got it down to a T. He even got held in contempt. Drew, look something about that and put
A
in
little
jail
something.
and he went inside the jail and started doing push-ups till the judge let him out. That's how you gotta be when you fight for your clients out here. But to get to the point, Fulton County DA was just wrong for trying to retaliate and hold and try to revoke Young Thug probation because he had an opinion about one of their employees. And I'm glad the judge did the right thing and dismissed that right away.
Sore losers, fam. Just sore losers, people that wasn't raised right, people that don't know how to take it on the chin and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when sore losers lose, they do anything they can to try to get retribution. You know what I'm saying? To try to redeem themselves. Them people are so, butthurt over there. And what's crazy, they didn't even lose. Not technically. I mean, I think they lost and Thug won because he ain't gotta go to jail. But technically, they got the conviction, the same conviction that 98.7 of all federal cases get, whatever the hell. You see what I'm saying? Of all cases, whatever the stat is, except when you hire the not guilty boys, of course. But it's just sore losers, man. The same thing Tarrant County did to me and Mike, man. I mean, I'm gonna speak on it. Me and Mike, y'all ain't even known because we just let God fight our battles, man. He on that front line, and we just, the victory is already his. You feel me? But we've been fighting two contempt cases for the last 2.5 years. See what I'm saying? One of them ended with a $500 fine. The second one got dismissed. You see what I'm saying? All because we was kicking ass and taking names. You see what I'm saying? All because these prosecutors treated us like we was little dogs, not knowing we was some European Dobermans. You see what I'm saying? All because these prosecutors felt like, I think it's the skin color, yo, and the way we carry ourselves. But they felt like we didn't deserve to be there. Imagine getting your ass kicked by somebody you don't even think deserve to be in the room. You see what
Come
I'm
on now.
saying? And I told y'all about the art of being underestimated. This ain't the episode for that either. But I'm telling you, you ought to let them. Anybody that want to underestimate you, welcome. Play dead. I asked Mike, I'll play dead. All the way till pre-trial. We don't want that offer. Okay. That's the evidence you got. Okay. You think my client did it? Okay. That's fine. Okay. Can I pass the case? I'm gonna play dead. And you're gonna think what you think. And then when we get in pre-trial, it's too late. I'm in there spitting that lit. You like, damn, straightening up your tie. You got sweat on your brow. Mike know what's up. You know what I'm saying? We get to spitting that lit, and they know they called us wrong. They had us all wrong the whole time. And in prosecutors, listen, prosecutors' offices, keep sending these non-experienced prosecutors to us, please, because I'm gonna just keep stacking up wins. I take it how it come. I take it however how it come. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta bring your best. I beat your best. I beat the rest. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, fam. It don't matter. Like, I'm not mad at y'all for underestimating me 11 years down the line. It's been 11 years, y'all still ain't learned yet. You feel me? So, team up or whatever y'all need to do, but we coming the same way. But basically, what you don't even understand is Fulton County didn't even have a basis for that motion. Young Thug posted something, and there was like a snowball effect to where other people that support Thug, like me, like Mike, got on there and was talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And they basically mentioned those people in their motion. They didn't even mention anything that Thug overtly did himself. And here's another thing: Thug $1 million nigga, probably 10 million, $50 million nigga. How you even know he posted that?
Exactly.
You see
That's
what I'm saying? Like,
powerful.
how you even know that he posted his own stuff on there? You don't know that. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So it's all kind of levels to this, man. Like, them boys be so angry. Them
Yeah.
boys be so angry. And now they trying to go after little baby. I don't know enough about that to really delve into that. But Fulton County, man, y'all just need to, black folks, man, it is no longer the black Las Vegas, like Kevin Hart said on that movie. You understand what I'm saying? Move up out of there. Take your money, take your businesses, just move up out of there and bleed them dry. You know what I'm saying? Because they need y'all. Y'all don't need them. I don't know why y'all. I mean, but it would be hard for me to just get bounced up out of Dallas too. So I understand that. You feel me? This is my home.
Man,
So
that was a good show, man. Shout out Kevin Hart. That was a dang good old
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
When you
was
get
good.
the name
Samuel
of it,
L. was on his row.
come on now. Y'all know what we're talking about. Somebody give us the name in the comments. But
Yeah, yeah.
that was a dang good Netflix series, man. But yeah, Fulton County got to chill. They got to relax. I think somebody down there in their DA office trying to trying to make a name out of themselves. And they just gotta chill, man. They just gotta relax. They didn't have nothing on Thug in the first place. And who knows what they allegedly got on Lil Baby, but I think it's Lil too. They just got an agenda got out against the rappers down there. So it's other places y'all can go set up shop at. I heard Charlotte is a nice place, and the black community is prominent in Charlotte, North Carolina too. Just to throw that out there. But for what Fulton County is putting out when it comes to being an African American man making some kind of money, I don't know if I would want to live there. I mean, they paying too much attention to social media, reading all the blogs, listening to the YouTube videos a little too much for me down there. But
Sending an
anytime,
African American DA at you. Like, baby,
yeah,
you a pawn. Like, some people, you got to learn in life, some people know they a pawn, right? And they okay with being a pawn. Baby,
you
you
talk,
can't be a pawn and a queen. You just can't. And I want you to be a queen, black queen. I want you to take your position, that was preordained for you and be a queen. But right now, doing all that, bringing these false charges, and you a pawn, baby. You a pawn.
you talk about old girl who was sleeping with old boy. She
Come on
promoted.
now. Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want
Fanny.
to. Y'all know her name. I didn't want to say her name, but
Come on now.
because I know a lot of people support her. But you know,
You a checker piece, baby. You ain't even on the chessboard, baby. Get yourself on the chessboard, baby.
old Fanny, man, old
Old fanny
Fanny.
pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, look, man, whenever it get too hot in that courtroom, if it get too hot in the kitchen, if it get too hot because you're working out and you need a little bit of nutrition, you understand me? Don't cave. Get the fruit caves. You feel me? You feel me? Hey. You know I got that jargon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
shout out to Fruit Craze, man. Shout out to our boy Throw, man. He doing a lot of good stuff with the holistic wellness approach. Y'all need to tap into Fruit Craze, man.
It's
Get your
that dragon fruit
mouse
boy.
juice. You know, get
I got the strawberry boy. You
come on,
understand?
man. Sea
Yeah,
moss
yeah, yeah.
lemonade. I'm taking sea moss right now. I know my skin look good. I know I ain't had no cold in a while. That sea moss really works.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out B
For
Scott,
sure.
my boy, too.
Shout out B. Scott,
Skinny B.
Skeezy, keeping it easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Hollywood
yeah,
Scott
yeah.
on Instagram. He
Come on
making
now.
CMOS too. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, come on.
Yeah.
Check in with Skeezy and my boy Fruit Throw with Fruit Case and get your sea moss. Hey, look, we
Yes,
gonna get
sir.
out of here on this Friday afternoon. Hey, y'all continue to like, share, subscribe. Y'all come in at one of these shows. We're gonna bring special guests on here soon. Also, we gonna go live for y'all too here soon, so y'all can ask us questions live.
There is an election coming up. Please subscribe to our channel too. But there is an election coming up. One of the what I aspire for this show to be about. One of the things, and I've talked to Mike, I've talked to Trip. I want to get these candidates on here so they can tell y'all what they stand for, and we can hold them to the fire. We're gonna find out who all is up for election. But one of the positions is district attorney. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The man that's in there, get him out of there. There is a judge running for district attorney. Okay. We gonna give y'all the background on that too. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Do not put her in that position, fam. Do not do it. Matter of fact, if you have an attorney, ask him or her how they feel about the judge of the district court. Okay. Because we not bashing nobody. We spitting facts. We keeping it real. If it was something good to say, I for damn sure would say it. Okay. Um, I think that it's good to be professional. I think it's good to have direction and control in your courtroom. But I also think it's good to be a good person and treat people kind and impart kindness and wisdom and knowledge without trying to talk down to people, without trying to make people feel less than who they are. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. And we'll expand on that later. I'm gonna just start drinking my drink and let Mike finish.
In our next show, we gonna elaborate on the importance of why y'all need to get out and vote in them local elections. These district attorneys who's making all the decisions in that county, these judges who's making all the rulings in those county, they are elected by y'all. They're elected officials. So
Yeah.
if they ain't doing right by your family members, they're not doing right by your church members, by your neighbors, by your friends in the community, get them out of there. And we're gonna bring on candidates that are running, and we're gonna let y'all listen to them, and y'all get to decide if they work y'all vote or not. But
Yep.
again, check it out for the day. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Not Guilty Boys. Trip, what is it? Not Guilty Boys on Instagram, the Not Guilty Boys on Facebook. We on TikTok. We on YouTube. You can't miss us. And shout out and thank you to every individual that tagged us and said, hey, y'all need to be on that case.
For real, man. For real.
We
For
saw
real.
it, all the love. We saw all the recommendations. We really appreciate y'all because, quite frankly, that got us another high profile case. We'll talk about that later. We check it
Biggest
out.
case in Dallas. You understand me? I ain't even
Guilty
gonna, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.